All right, today we're going to jump into Arweave and do a token analysis for you to give you kind of an insight of whether or not you should be looking at this project. My name is Paul Barron. Welcome back to TechPath. As you guys know, we'll do these kinds of analysis from time to time. The concept behind these is we'll pull together some data and we'll give you some, proprietary data that hopefully helps you kind of make some decisions on how you want to move forward on a project. Again, non-investment advice. But welcome into the market mover. Let's jump over to what is Arweave. And a lot of people, when I first started looking at this project months ago, the concept behind it is pretty straightforward. I want to jump to this article. It says basically it's, discussions around censorship was kind of the basis of what Arweave is kind of built on. Arweave has built an actual censorship resistance data storage protocol that has the ability to maintain valuable information. Obviously, basically your web entity, and it's like an advanced storage protocol that's powered by a technology called Blockweave. So the way I compare this when people talk to me about this is in essence, it's a data storage facility, almost like a combination of maybe the AWS and like an archive.org. But it's more than that. There's actually an email client, which is kind of unique how it uses tokens to utilize that. And I'm going to jump to their website in a minute to kind of show you a little bit about it. But it's a very interesting, an interesting project, and it's one that I think is going to stick around. There's a lot of projects out there that I invest in that is specifically for just the investment, meaning I'm investing in buying low and selling high. That's all. I see the project, I see its validity, maybe it's an interesting project, but in the long term, do I think it's going to be here for the future? Those are the ones I kind of, dump and run on those in a way. But Arweave is not one of those. Arweave is not one of those. Let's get into what Blockweave is, which is a modified version of a blockchain. The Blockweave is a system that basically carries data making permanent, low-cost data storage possible. That's the thing that's really interesting to me, is if they can really do this, this could change how the entire ecosystem of data storage works. The blockchain is a linked set of blocks that contains immutable transaction data, and of course, Arweave having the capability of conserving history prevents others from rewriting it. That's where the whole aspect of what I think is going to be needed in the internet space, in the world of data in the future, is the ability to not have any kind of scenario where censorship could be put upon you or your organization. Big, big deal. The other thing, Solana, a blockchain protocol, is now agreed to use Arweave technology to build its Solar Bridge data storage solution. This is in order for the NFT metadata to be stored on Arweave. Customers must pay using Arweave's AR token. Pretty straightforward. And this is basically going to give you the ability for a Solana project to essentially ride on this. So to me, when you have Solana already looking at integrating into Arweave, that's already a big check mark for me, because it does show, which I think still Solana is one of the best projects out there in the market. Now, sure, they've had some ups and downs. I wish they had, a more seasoned team. I wish they had some other things in terms of their validity capability across multi-node and also across multi-network. And we've talked about this. This came in the comments a couple of times. I just want to kind of reference this. And the point is that, and this, I know this is getting off topic, but Solana is this whole issue of where their nodes could be essentially compromised. The concept behind this is if you're centralizing your data storage in 1 or 2 or even 3 data centers, you're already compromised. If you're in that few of decentralized data centers, you're already compromised. And in fact, you should be in maybe as many, especially for projects like this, as maybe as many as 6 to 10 data centers across various different companies. So you're not dealing with one backbone internet, situation should we get or see a hack come in or potentially an outage. All those kind of things have to be worked out in some of these chains. And I think that's something that Solana will need to get to a level of working out. One of the things about Arweave, though, that is really great is it's been a big mover over the past couple of days. We'll go, of course, to the charts in a minute, but I want to jump to this one. Top crypto gainer as of today in the last 24 hours, and then also gained 192% in the last 2 weeks. So if you purchased ARR, I like that one. It's not to be confused with Pirate Chain RR, but if you purchased this one early in the last 30 days, you're in an absolute amazing place, much like Solana if you were in there early. So that is a big part of that. And anytime you're investing, and this is where a lot of people, we get so many comments, a lot of DMs, and a ton of questions on our live streams, et cetera. Paul, where should we be looking at doing tokens and investing? And of course, we try to give you as many tokens as possible. But one area that I always recommend everybody to go into, that is crypto IRAs. Crypto IRAs, straightforward. I Trust Capital, one of our premier partners here on the network. And I love this product because it is one that I use, it's one that I like, and it's one that I fear we're going to start to see some new regulation around. But at the same time, I think there's going to be a lot of creativity around these crypto IRAs that are going to kind of create some very interesting stuff. But obviously tax advantage, low cost, 1% on the trade, meaning if you put money in there, whether it's fiat money or transferring an actual IRA from another facility, you can go that route, or of course you can drop in some crypto and trade right there as well. It's got full liquidity, which I love about that, and great ecosystem. So you've got a full, set of both precious metals and also cryptocurrencies that you can trade within your account, which I love about that. The other thing is it is tied to Coinbase custody and also Curve, which I really like the fact that they've looked at going in this direction, because it does make it, to me, even that much better for anybody who is getting into crypto, because it is a much more, I won't say easier entry, but it's definitely not as volatile. If you're putting into something like what you would do at iTrust, it's, I love these crypto IRAs. This is one of those that if you look at it, let me accept that real quick right there. But if you look at any good portfolio, the crypto IRA is one that you've got to have. It's one that I say you should have at least 5% of your portfolio in an IRA of some sort, especially if it's a crypto IRA, because it's only going to be working for you all the time as we start to see these things. And of course, remember, on IRAs, you're holding these things for years, in some cases decades. So Bitcoin's price or Ethereum's price now and 6 months from now really is not that big of a deal. The key is to get it started. And you're going to get a free month. So make sure and click the link in the description below, and you will be an iTrust Capital user. Use the code Paul Barron, and it's going to get you a free month over there. Now let's jump over to Trade the Chain quickly on where is sentiment on Arweave, because that's a big factor here. And as you can kind of see, here's the 1 day. This thing was flying off the charts. And if you look at the 7 day, you can kind of see this move right here where it was a little flat, jumped down, and then boom, there she goes, starting to run again. And of course, that's the number that we've seen in the past 24. Question a lot of you will have probably in the comments right now is, Paul, should I jump in? Should I jump in? Listen, this is one of those projects that I think is going to stay around for a while. I think this is one that you can camp on. This is one that might be like an Algorand. It has that kind of validity to it, that has the potential for long-term use case and also long-term investment. So I'm going to hold this guy for a while. If you're late to the party, maybe you look for a little bit of a price dip and then jump in. That might be your entry point, and we'll look at where kind of where our trading chart is on this, because there's some interesting things that has happened with Arweave in terms of the sentiment data. And I want to jump over here to TradingView just quickly. We tracked this all the way back to August 22nd, and this is right here was about when we started looking at getting into the project. And at that point, you had a sentiment number of 5476, but an amplification score of 5975. And to me, and as you guys know, if you follow our channel, amplification, when it is outperforming sentiment, that usually means fireworks are about to happen. That was exactly the case. We had this crazy sentiment. I've never seen this kind of sentiment chart, but we had this crazy sentiment chart that was following this project up and then just immediately kind of flatlined right here as it had risen to basically 69 bucks, which is where it was trading. So a great sideways action, and we thought, all right, here's another little dip. Let's score this one. This, of course, happened on September 10th. Again, 61.49, but look what happened right here. Amplification dropped off significantly, and we did see the movement in a downward fashion. Right here was our next move right here, And this is the one that I'm interested in because this is the one that we started to see the recovery happen with Arweave over the last 24 hours. Sentiment's holding at 69.06, still a very strong, but look at amplification again. Something is oddly happening with this token. I don't know if there's some manipulation here or what, but to see this kind of movement in amplification and sentiment over a very short period of time is a little bit different. So I'm cautious with this project, but at the same time, I'm looking for an upside to around 70 bucks by around first week October 6th. So it still has some potential to move for you. It's right here at a support line at $53 right now trading, and of course that's been up from its low right here at 35, which was this last couple of weeks low. So that is the good point. If you were able to get in right in this bubble area, kudos to you, excellent trade. You just killed it. The question is, do you hold or do you take some profits? That's going to be the question. I can't answer that for you. I'm not an advisor for you, but I can tell you what I would do. I'm in a lot less in Arweave than that in terms of the $35 mark, but I'm going to hold this through. I feel very strong that this thing might clip above or get very close to that $70 mark, which is what I feel could be an exit point if you were looking to take some profits. And again, remember, we haven't seen the run yet. This is going to be one of those projects with its relationship to Solana, with its relationship to what's happening in just the data storage space. This is one I'd be watching, so make sure and keep it on your watch list at the very minimum. Again, if you guys are listening in over on the podcast, best thing to do is, of course, subscribe over there. Give us some comments, too. We love to get the feedback as well. But the best place to get these charts and all these kinds of really great insights, the number one place you got to come is right here to YouTube. Like and subscribe on this channel. And, of course, that's going to give you all the kind of updated information on blockchain tech and some other technology that we follow on a pretty big place. And, of course, if you guys want to reach out to me and have an idea for a show or maybe a token or a project that you want us to take a look at, we'll try to do our best. We can't get to all of them, but we're going to definitely try to do our best. Hit me up on Twitter, @PaulBaron. That's the best place. Or leave it right down in the comments below, and we'll try to get to them as quickly as we can. We'll catch you next time right here on TechPath.